one of the reasons I became an actor was wanted to be a Mani Ratnam heroine, and I knew to be a Mani Ratnam heroine, I'll have to somehow do a Tamil film. I genuinely feel as an audience sometimes people tell me too much, and when I'm watching the film, I'm like, but you told me everything already. Oh my God, when I'm angry, tears come out. I feel like killing someone, but of course I never will. I don't shout either. I'm not a shouter. So it has to come out in some ways. It comes out in tears. People are kind to me, and a lot of my fans are so fiercely protective of me. In fact, they start abusing anybody who says anything bad to me. I call it my Twitter army. They're all like, "Arr, how dare you?"
So, Aditi, I have to congratulate you for the immense success of V. It's
Thank
definitely one of the most entertaining films that I've seen, during this lockdown period. Although, yours was a relatively smaller role, the entire film actually revolved around you. What was your first reaction when you heard the script of the film?
I felt exactly what you felt. I was like, oh, okay, this is a really like it's small, but
Yeah.
it's really the crux of the film, and it's really the emotional core of the film. So if the audience connects to this girl, and if they connect to Vishnu and Sahiba and the love and their love, then the entire film will make sense to them. Otherwise, it just ends up being like a ferocious kind of violent film. I mean, a very well written violent film. But I feel like that's what really gives it that tenderness, and also gives Nani's character, Vishnu, that tenderness, because even the way he has played it, and I have to doff my hat to him, is that even when he's committing the worst murder, there's always that love and pain in his eyes, for this, I mean, this love that he has lost. So I think that's what really makes the character and makes that love story work.
The film touches upon various subjects, social evils that are rampant and relevant even today. So, as an actor, when you choose a script, do you do it because of the role itself? Do it because the film stands for a certain value, or because of that?
My instinct is basically connect. So like even with this film, like there is an immediate connect to Vishnu and Sahiba, and then ultimately what happens. Um, so when that connect is there, at least when I feel it and I look at it as an audience, then I feel that the audience will also hopefully feel the same connect. And in this case, the audience has felt even more than what I imagined they would feel. So I think my choice actually stems from first just an emotional connect. And then of course I think it's also important the people you work with. So if you work with a director like Mohan sir, then he's a very thoughtful director, and he weaves certain things into his plot and into his script, and he writes really beautifully. And so he wove in that whole thing of child abuse and things like that. And I remember there was also one thought that we had when we were discussing the film of making Sahiba, because she's also an orphan, so making her also kind of connected to this whole child abuse thing. And then we decided to keep it more just keep her sacrifice more, because then her sacrifice will be different. Then her want for justice will be more personal, whereas Sahiba in this, and I really think that Monza made a very beautiful choice at that point, which is to disconnect her from anything, and to
Right.
make it completely a human sacrifice, and a human fight for justice, where there is this girl who literally gives up everything that is dear to her, her love and her life and her unborn child, to save an unknown girl and to give an unknown girl justice. And it is such a heroic, such a it really, it's so beautiful. It makes her such a beautiful girl. But the moment Sahiba would have had that connection to that, it would have made it a very personal fight. These are calls that directors take, and when you work with a director like Mohan sir, then you are assured that it will have something relevant, something something that is saying something, making a point without effortedly making a point. It's just woven into the plot very well. So I like scripts like that, but I don't necessarily seek something like that. I seek connection.
And many a times, actors have said that certain scenes remain with them long after the filming is over. So, in V, was there any such scene that stayed with you even after the shoot was over?
I love this scene, at the end, just before when the two boys are talking about Sahiba, and when Vishnu and Aditya, uh, when there's that whole reveal about what
Mhm.
actually happened, I really love that scene. I thought that here are these two macho boys. You've seen them fight, pull out guns, this, that, like in the works. And then you see the most sensitive side to them, and they share that.
Mhm.
And of course, for Vishnu, it is the love of his life, and for Aditya, it is that empathy for this man who has lost his love,
Mhm.
and also a sense of marvel at the heroism of this girl who is just an innocent sweet little girl, who lives in a little like home waiting for her husband to return, and he's in the army. And just how an ordinary young girl can make such a huge sacrifice and become a hero. It doesn't take guns and guns blazing and kicks and flying kicks. It takes a heart and a courageous heart to be a hero. I love that about that whole scene, and I love how Vishnu, with so much pain and so much love, says, "She's such a smart girl, isn't she?" Because in all that chaos, she actually managed to get that video to him. That really gives me goosebumps. Even today, even when I'm saying it to you, it really gives me goosebumps. I love that scene. I love the two boys in that scene and how they react to this girl. And it's so simple. That girl is so simple, but the way they react to her is very lovely. So that's my.
There were a lot of little things in the film, that really kind of interested me. Like for instance, there was this one scene with Nani and this guy who he's chatting with on the bus,
I
and
love
he
it.
says
Yeah.
he says that all of us feel like beating up someone or killing someone once in a while, and we satisfy that by watching action thrillers or crime films. So, I wanted to ask you, in reality, like, frustration is something that we deal with on an everyday basis. So,
Yeah.
how do you vent out your anger, or, what do you do to keep yourself sane?
I think the only time that I get upset or irritable is when I'm pushed too much. When I see a lot of efficiency, or when I feel like, I'm turning cartwheels to make things happen and everybody else is just dreaming and not using their brains. So that makes me very frustrated. But I'm not somebody who gets angry very rarely. I can get irritable or impatient. But the way I deal with it is, no, I don't beat people, and I don't kill them, and I don't abuse them. But I need to be able to say things like, I don't really have filters. And I'm very transparent. So if I'm irritated, you're going to see it on my face. If I'm happy, you're going to see it on my face. And I prefer to just be transparent and tell the person. And in 5 minutes, I'm fine. And if I'm wrong, I'll always apologize. And if I feel that I'm right, unless proven wrong, I will stick to my guns. I can be quite stubborn about it. So I don't know how I deal with it. Yeah, I let myself just be impatient, and then I tell myself that it's not worth it and it's a waste of time, and I just feel happy again. I don't know. I don't. Oh, tears. Tears is another thing. Oh my God, when I'm angry, tears come out.
It
Big,
just
big
comes
fat, fat.
naturally.
Oh my God, yeah. I feel like killing someone, but of course I never will. I don't shout either. I'm not a shouter. So it has to come out in some way, so it comes out in tears.
And just a few days before the film released, you had put this social media post where you said that there was a reason why you were kept hidden from the promotions of We, and you also wrote about the memes and the entertaining threats. It's just like a trend that we've seen. A lot of actors have taken a break from social media because of the amount of negativity that is there. How do you manage to deal with that? How do
Honestly,
you?
all those memes and threats were all very full of love. They were basically saying justice for Aditi. Where is Aditi? How can you hide her? How can you not show her to us? So it was mostly that, which is why I thought it was very important for me to address them and to tell them I'm here and you'll see me very soon. And it was a collective decision, and it was a decision we took actually for the audience, because
Right.
I genuinely feel, as an audience, sometimes people tell me too much, and when I'm watching the film, I'm like, but you told me everything already. So sometimes I want to watch it for what it is, and let it unfold as it does. So in that case, that's why I wrote that letter that I did. Having said that, each one of those memes is too sweet, too funny. In that 1 week leading up to the release of the film, I felt so much love. And I was like, I felt so missed that it really made it all worth it. I have to say, I don't have any complaints. But if you're talking about social media trolling and negativity, see, there are levels and levels of it. I guess touchwood, people are kind to me, and a lot of my fans are so fiercely protective of me. In fact, they start abusing anybody who says anything bad to me. So I very rarely have to respond to anything bad because I call it my Twitter army. They're all like, "Arr, how dare you?" But I feel like the way I deal with it is something that my mother always told me when I was small, because I was a very sensitive child and I continue to be very sensitive. So my mother always says that, the only thing you have control over is actually your own actions and your own attitude and yourself. So always be the best version of yourself. And if somebody behaves badly, literally look at it as their problem. Like there is something they are suffering. So today I try to be Florence Nightingale and I'm like, I hope you feel better. I'm sending you a hug. I hope all this like what else can I do? I mean, I can just laugh about it and just like give some love. I mean, literally that's all I can do. I don't have what's the point of me also getting angry in the middle of it all, and then it just like leads to more negativity and more rubbish, and I don't want it.
I have to say that V is an action entertainer that movie lovers would have loved to see on the big screen. Like it
Me
has
too.
everything.
Me too. I was so like I was lobbying for the theater, and I was like, we have to wait. How can we do this? But I guess it's a blessing in
So,
disguise.
what were your thoughts on when it released on OTT? What was going through your mind?
I was just like, we have to make a theater like experience for ourselves and watch it like that. But I have to say that every single person, at least online, whatever I've seen, people have watched it with such like love,
Hmm.
and also they have created their own little home theaters, their own groups of people maybe who have been able to meet. There's been confetti, there have been celebrations. So it's really sweet. People have created that theater-like experience for themselves. And having said that, even though I love the theater and it's very magical and all, but I feel like OTT is the need of the artist now, and both mediums are very valid. And also the fact that you get love from every corner of the world, people who don't necessarily watch, possibly never watched a Telugu film before, suddenly their minds are open now to watch more, and they like, oh, what an amazing product. And then that's when there's that validation that I've always sort of, for me it's a validation because I've always believed that it's about stories. It doesn't matter what language it's in. It's about
Right.
connection. It's about taking those characters home with you. It's about feelings. These are all universal things. And when you see people from Afghanistan and UP and Berlin and Marrakesh or wherever write to you and say they love the film and they want to watch more Telugu films, and from now on they'll follow more Malayalam films or whatever it is. You feel so validated, and this is how I wanted to work. I wanted to be a pan Indian actor, and somewhere I feel like, oh my God, the world is just growing closer in many ways. So it's a nice
Yeah.
feeling. It's a good feeling.
So, having worked in Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and Hindi, like you explored so many avenues. Like you
Hmm.
just said, was it a conscious decision to become like a pan India artist?
When I moved to Bombay 2011, 2010, 11, when I started working, one of the reasons I became an actor was because of Mani Ratnam. I mean, that is the reason I became an actor. And I wanted to be a Mani Ratnam heroine, and I knew to be a Mani Ratnam heroine, I'll have to somehow do a Tamil film. So somewhere that was one of the reasons why I wanted to be a pan-Indian heroine, and also seeing people like Devi ma'am, and like the kind of love that they have because of their pan-Indian work. So that's always something that's inspired me so much. And I've always been like, it would be so amazing to be able to work like that. And very few people get that opportunity. It's rare to have that kind of love. And I hope that in my own way, I can get it and I can continue to work like this. It is something that I've wanted to do. And the fact that it's happening makes me very, very full of gratitude.
I have to say that, when the film released, I was just going through your Twitter comments, and a lot of fans said that they would want to see you in a female centric role, because your talent needs to be seen. So, what do you have to say to that?
I mean, that's very sweet of them, but I don't look at films like as female centric, male centric. I feel like
Mhm.
whether the film is about the hero or the heroine or both of us, what matters is the connection that you make with the audience, and you just want your audience to take you home with them in their hearts. I want to do films like that. Having said that, I have done a lot of author-backed roles recently, whether it was Sammohanam with Mohan sir, whether it was Katravelli Day with Mani sir, or Sufyum Sujatyum, or Psycho for that matter, in Tamil. So I have done a lot of those, but to me, it's the film and the story and the script and the character and the director and the actors. I don't want the length of my role to determine anything other than, I mean, I think the most important thing for me is that the audience should take me home with them in their hearts, me and my co-star. Like if it's a love story, home with them in their hearts. That's the most important thing. Even I have to die, even if I have to die in 20 minutes, take me home, keep me there.
Absolutely.
Metaphorically.
And lastly, Aditi, if the theaters open in the next few weeks, will you be confident enough to go to a theater and watch a film?
I think I would, yeah. I'm dying to go to the theater. I don't think it'll take the next few weeks. I think it might be a little longer.
Okay, Aditi, thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you, and
Thank,
all the best for We and for all your upcoming projects that we're going to
thank
see you
you.
in.
Nice talking to you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.